All right, what am I learning? So we're starting a new lesson in our unit of integers. I am learning how to subtract, multiply, and divide integers. Okay, so 3 operations. Why am I learning it? I need to be able to subtract, multiply, and divide integers in order to understand real-life topics such as temperature, altitude, money, scores, etc. How will I know when I have learned it? When I can correctly solve mathematical equations and real-life word problems using positive and negative numbers. If you need to stop this at any time to fill in the blank, just pause it and then hit play again and I'll keep going. All right, subtracting integers. So we have 3 letters that are going to help us figure out how to subtract integers. L, C, O. So L stands for leave, and that's in regards to the first number. C means change, and that means we're changing our minus sign to a plus sign. And then our O is opposite, so we're taking the opposite of the second number. Then we're following our addition rules. So over here we are going to follow the addition rules. So adding same. So remember, that's going to be a positive plus a positive, or a negative plus a negative. So a positive plus a positive is going to give us a positive. A negative plus a negative is going to give us a negative. So when we add same signs, we're going to add, and then we're going to keep the sign. Okay, if we're adding different signs, remember, that's when we circle the bigger number, subtract, and then use the sign of the circled number. Okay, so that's literally a review of the last lesson we did with adding integers. Again, if you need to pause the video to write this down in your notes, go ahead and do so. All right, subtracting integers again. So our keywords are leave, change, opposite, and then our adding rules are right here. Same side, add, keep the sign. Different signs, circle the bigger numbers. This should say subtract. And then keep the sign of the bigger or circled number. Okay, so if we look at our first example, we have 10 minus 4. Okay, we're going to LCO this. So I'm going to write it above each of the items. So L, we are going to leave that first number. So 10 stays 10. We are going to change. We're changing our subtraction sign to an addition sign. And then we're taking the opposite of positive 4, which is negative 4. So then we're going to rewrite that. So we actually now have 10 plus negative 4. Okay, now we need to follow our addition rules. We have a positive plus a negative, so we're looking at our different signs. So we're going to circle the bigger number, subtract, keep the sign of the circled number. 10 is circled and it's positive. That means 6 is going to be positive as well. If we look at our next example, negative 10 minus 5. So we're leaving our negative 10, changing our subtraction sign to an addition sign, and then changing our positive 5 to a negative 5. we're going to rewrite that. -10 plus -5. So I have the same sign. So same sign tells me I'm going to add. So 10 plus 5 is 15. And then keep the sign. Negative, negative. So it's -15. Our next sign, our next problem. -7 minus 3. We're going to leave our -7. Change our subtraction to addition. Take the opposite of -3, which is +3. Rewrite -7 plus 3. Going to follow the adding different signs rules. So we have circle -7. Subtract, we get 4. Keep the sign of the circled number. -7 circled, so it's going to be a -4 as your answer. Okay, fill in the top. Leave, change, opposite, then follow your addition rules. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to work through the 3 practice problems at the bottom. Pause the video, and then come back to check your answers when you are done. All right, let's take a look at your first problem. 4 minus 9. Leave, change, opposite. Leave your 4. Change your minus sign to a plus sign. And then we're going to take the opposite of a +9, which is -9. Adding with different signs. So we are going to circle the bigger number. Subtract, we get 5. Use the sign of the circled number. 9's negative, 5's negative, so your answer is -5. Next one, 9 minus -5. Leave, change, opposite. 9 plus 5. Same sign, 2 positive, so I'm going to add and keep the sign. -6 minus 3. Leave, change, opposite. I'm adding 2 negative numbers, so my answer is going to be negative. And then 6 plus 3 is 9. So it gives you -9. All right, word problems, everybody's favorite. So I'm going to use the circle your number, underline the question, box your keywords, evaluate, and solve. So, a deep sea diver is 200 feet above sea level. 10 minutes later, he is at 100 feet below sea level. What is his change in depth? All right, so if we're starting out 200 feet above sea level, that means it's going to be a positive. 10 minutes later, he is at 100 feet below sea level, so we know that's going to be a negative. What is his change? Change tells us we need to subtract. So I have 200 minus 100. So I need to leave, change opposite, leave 200, change my subtraction to a plus sign, change -100 to a +100, and I get 300, and I need a label, so feet, feet. So 300 feet is his change in depth. So if you want to think about it, here's my ocean. Okay, my scuba diver is starting out, he's probably on a boat. This is a sailboat. That's 200 feet above sea level. He dives in, so he's going 200 feet. And then when he lands down here to get ready to go swimming at 100 feet. So he went 200 feet and to another 100 feet, so your total is 300 feet for that one. The low temperature in Canada was negative 14 degrees on Tuesday. The temperature rose to negative 9 degrees on Wednesday. What was the difference in temperature in the 2 days? So it started at negative 14, rose to negative 9. What was the difference in temperature on the 2 days? So the temperature started at negative 14, negative 9. They want to know the difference. Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So now we have negative 14 minus negative 9. So LCO, negative 14 plus positive 9. Different signs, or negative plus a positive. Circle your bigger number. Subtract. We end up with 5. Use the sign of the circled number. 14 is circled and it's negative. So your answer is negative 5. So what is the difference between the 2 days? Negative 5 degrees. Okay. All right, so you have 2 practice problems to work on. Pause the video and then come back and check your answers when you are ready. Okay, welcome back. So Connor is scuba diving at a depth of 52 feet below sea level. 30 minutes later, he has a depth of 40 feet below sea level. What is the change in his depth? So 52 feet below sea level means he's negative 52. 30 minutes later, he is at a depth of 40 feet below sea level. We want to figure out his change in depth, so change tells us we need to subtract. So we got negative 52 minus negative 40. LCO, negative 52 plus 40. Circle 52. Subtract 52 minus 40 gives us 12. Negative 12 feet. All right, next one. When Mercury is at its maximum distance from the sun, it is 43 million miles from the sun. At its minimum distance, Mercury is 28 million miles from the sun. What is the difference of Mercury's maximum and minimum distances? Circle my numbers. All right, so I'm just going to use 43 and 28, and I'll tack on the million when we're done so we don't have so many zeros. So they want to know maximum minus your minimum because difference is telling us what we need to subtract. So 43 minus 28. Leave change opposite. 43 plus negative 28. Circle your bigger number. Subtract. 15. 43 is positive, 15 is going to be positive, so 15 million miles is the difference. Okay, so that ends your subtracting integers portion of the notes.